Hey guys, happy Sunday. It's February 1st, 2015. And I just wanted to come and give you guys an update on the Daniel Challenge. For those of you guys that don't know what the Daniel Challenge is, it's basically just a challenge that I would like to encourage you to take. The ministry that I have started, which is titled Respect Your Temple, it encourages you to be healthier. And if you want to know why that's important for your spirituality, I would love to speak to you about that. So contact me. I also want to add that I'm very surprised at the response that I'm getting from this event. I knew that God had told me I had to start it now. And I guess I wasn't expecting that, because it's something so simple, and I know I wanted to do this very same thing here in the school that I teach at. I'm a teacher at a boarding school, and it really kind of threw me off guard, but I did obey, and God is doing amazing things. I was not expecting the response. I did a video on Facebook, and some people responded through there, and some people are doing it there, some people are doing it here in Jefferson in the community, some people, I have a student or two doing it here on campus, but I also have other people contacting me and saying, hey, I want to be a part of this. And I was really thinking that wasn't going to happen until after the first session was over. This is the end of our second week, and it's a 3 weeks challenge. So I was really thinking that this was going to happen after they heard all the testimonies that would happen, that would encourage them to do this. But God is just leading the way, and I'm very, very excited about that. The first time I ever heard about such a ministry, a health ministry, the guy that was given the whole week series was testifying. He gave up his job, he gave up everything he had to preach this message of how your health is very important for your spirituality. And he said that he didn't charge for what he did. If you were to be there where I was, you sit there and learn so much that you would, at least I would be willing to pay for it. And he sat there in front of everybody. I mean, he stood up there, up in the pulpit, and said, I'm not gonna charge, because this goes hand in hand with the gospel. Me telling you how to be healthier for the Lord. I'm not gonna charge. He did ask for donations, because of course his ministry has to work somehow, and so therefore I was very amazed by that, and I'm very amazed that God is using me to do the same thing, to reach people just so they can be healthier, just so they can live longer for the Lord. But this is the end of my second week. The first week was rougher, and it wasn't as easy for me to keep up with everything I wanted to do, because let me remind you once again, the enemy doesn't like it. Satan doesn't want you fasting and praying, or the power of it, that combination. Jesus had said, if you remember, if you go to the gospel, there's a part where he says some demons will not leave unless you fast and you pray. And I think that's my main testimony, is that I'm a dean for a Christian school, and you're here, and some girls are away from their parents, and due to technology and whatnot, they get to have things like their cell phones and their laptops, and as strict as some rules may be, they still get a chance to listen to songs that they know they shouldn't, because they've been told about these things, about such secular songs and what they do to them, and how some of them are just pretty much very satanic. In times before, the lyrics, you had to play them backwards to understand what they said and how they worship Satan, whatever. But some lyrics nowadays are very forward with it. You don't even have to play them backwards, because they would just straight up tell you what they're saying. And so it was just very hard for me to try to keep that away, other than with prayer. But I've noticed that ever since I started the Daniel fast, it's like peaceful around here. It's like they obey me with a smile on their face, or they might get a little upset, but it won't last long. Whereas before, it was like they'll throw a fit, they'll get mad, they want to call mom, and they want to say this, and of course usually the parents are very supportive, because obviously they know my number one goal is to try to get these kids closer to Christ. And with that being said, I mean, I have other testimonies, of course. This week has been a lot easier for me. My dog that was missing, that I really was like, I didn't want to think about the fact that I wasn't going to see him again. But God was so good, and I was praying, that God would give me the gift of having him back. And we found him, thank God. He's back home. He's in Kansas, so hopefully I'll be able to bring him back home to Texas with me next time I go home. Something that God revealed to me, and I want to share with you guys, because I know that there are people out there who deal with the youth, and this was very deep for me. I've been here for almost a year, school year, and it was very tough. And I know I felt God saying, Sandra, keep doing what you're doing, stay strong. That He would say that to me through different ways, through songs, through people giving me encouragement cards, and they all say, trust me and stay strong, trust me, keep doing what you're doing. But I didn't understand, I'm like, God, why did you have me come here? These kids are miserable. I'm miserable looking at them being miserable, because they hated the fact that I wouldn't allow them to do so many things that they're used to doing here or at their home. But in my mind, it's like, there's a huge responsibility that falls upon me, more than anything spiritually. And if God brought me here to lead these kids to Christ, I cannot sit here and have these demons have their way, and for those that are not Christian, you might not understand this, but believe me, it's deep. So I began to fast and to pray, and God finally basically explained to me why I had to continue doing what I'm doing, because I would always ask him, but why can I be a little more lenient? Can I do this? I mean, because I understand, I was young once, and I like doing what they want to do. So God finally told me, He's like, Sandra, you have to keep telling them no to this. Now listen up. If you work with youth, God revealed to me something that's so deep. Or if you have children that are teenagers or that are just kids, eventually they're going to grow up. But He said, there are a lot of parents that send their kids to church on Sabbath or on Sunday, and they expect the pastor to be able to change their kids' ways with a 30-minute sermon. They come home and they don't tell them, no, you can't do this, and they don't tell them, no, you can't do that. And they just send them to church when they can, which is great if that's all you can do, but when they're young enough, you have to learn to tell them no. So God says, so they're not used to this. So to them, yes, they get angry. Yes, they feel miserable because they've never been told no. But you have to tell them no, because I say no, you shouldn't do this. And so I tried to explain to them, and of course they kind of don't like that either, because they're like, oh, now it's not you, it's God. But I realized the more I keep telling them no, yeah, they get mad at first, but eventually they realize, okay, if I don't do that, I get to do this, or I get more freedom doing this, and which are usually good things. Like, yeah, you can go do this now. If you do your homework, you have time to do this. And so it was something very eye-opening, because wow, so if you're a youth pastor, and what basically what he said, I told him I want to help these kids, and some kids are just in trouble. Most of these kids don't have a father. That's another thing he told me. You are gonna struggle with them, but it's part of the plan, because most of these kids that give me trouble, whether they are in the girls' dorm or in the boys' dorm, because I'm still a staff member for them, and I can still write them up and correct them and whatnot. Most of the kids that give me trouble are kids that don't have a father figure, or if they do, they're not authoritarian type, so these kids get to do whatever they want at home, and they don't get to do whatever they want here. And I've had parents call me and say, thank you, because my child doesn't listen to me, so thank you for doing what I want to do. Thank you for doing what you're doing. And even before I came here, they've told me how there are parents that will call back and say, I don't know what you did to my child, but oh my goodness, thank you so much. This child is different. So I wanted to share that. those things that made them angry, those things that made them not understand that God wants the best for them, that when I say no, don't do this, or you're not allowed to do that, it's not really me speaking, it's God speaking. And during this Daniel challenge, things have gone so much smoother in this dorm. We're laughing together, which we do, but not as often. We're bonding together. We're working out together. It's just something so awesome. And I can see and feel that they're happy, and that I didn't have to sit there and tell them, yes, you can listen to that music, and yes, you can watch that type of movie, for them to be happy. All it took was prayer and fasting. So I encourage you, keep it up. You have one more week. And actually, I encourage you, if if you're done next week, don't go back to living an old life that was unhealthy for you. And if you can strive to be even healthier, like if you decide not to do meat this time, maybe next time you want to do no dairy, or maybe next time you want to do whatever it is, like keep going healthier and healthier, and praying and fasting, and do it for God, do it for your youth, do it for just for the sake of feeling what it feels to have God so much closer. It's amazing. So I encourage you, as the leader of Respect Your Temple Ministries, to keep doing that. I will also be uploading other videos that are gonna be actually short, hopefully most 10 minutes, actually most 15 minutes. Some of them are probably gonna be deep. Most of them are gonna be for women. I have been asked by some of my people that I've given Bible studies to in Puerto Rico and other places that they miss me, and I miss you guys too. So they want videos of encouragement, and I already have some planned. So you might want to subscribe to my YouTube video. I might be uploading them here on Facebook as well. But there are things that God has told me and has shared with me, and I want to share with you guys the things that have changed my life in the past year or so. So God bless. Okay, you have one more week. Keep it up. Okay, you can do this. One more week. It should be easier, but at the same time it could be the hardest one, because it marks the time that you told God you would do it for. And God is of God order and a God of time. So fight the good fight. Finish the race. Okay, finish the race. You're good. I'm praying for you as I'm praying for myself, and I know it's not easy, but we can do this. Okay, God bless. And I'm sorry it was this long. Bye.